for your invitation to experience the clink, the chaos, and all of the empowerment you desire. There's a secret in the bottle, the bottle, the bottle. I just can't get a little clink with chaos, you know we got some. Hella hood with class, baby, I'm 2 in 1. Come sip and savor so we can spill some. And if you lost your way, we'll leave the light on. There's a secret in the bottle, the bottle, the bottle. I just can't get enough. Champagne Secrets. What's going on, Champagne Gang, Fizz Fam, Confidants? Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Waves Wednesdays. Yes, we're back. I had to take some time off because I had some wellness things going on my own. For those of you who have been with me for a while, who may have watched my video, I recently did a video about my daughter losing her baby, and she was 7 months pregnant. And I had to come be with my daughter because she had to still deliver the baby, and I wasn't going to let her go through that on her own. So having to go through that whole process and watch my grandbaby come out not breathing and be in the hospital with my daughter, yeah, it took me through some waves of my own. So, but we're back. And we're still dealing with our mental health and making sure that we escape those rooms that we ended up trapped in when we decided to walk into the Heartbreak Hotel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm the Empress. Welcome to the Chalei on Wednesday for our Wellness Waves Wednesdays, where we attack matters of the heart, matters of the mind, matters of the emotion, matters of the spirit, all the matters that keep us from being the best version of ourselves possible. So, for this week, since it's been a while since we've done the Wellness Waves Wednesdays, I thought instead of starting a new episode that we would do a recap of the old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play all 3 episodes so that when we do our Wellness Waves Wednesdays on next week, we'll be starting afresh. So if you're ready, let's get into it. But before we do, I just wanted to let you know that I will be pausing the video if you guys have questions or to respond to some of you guys' comments. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to Champagne Secrets. We're about to head over to the Secret Chalet for your midweek dose of encouragement and empowerment. So we're usually on here and we spend so much time talking about toxicity that I thought, why not balance it out with some inspiration, you know? So we're going to talk about the Heartbreak Hotel because I'm really tired of my sisters and brothers being stuck in heartbreak and not knowing how to get out. Now, this might not be for everybody because some people just want to be toxic, and that's fine. I want to build a community of individuals who think, encourage, empower, inspire, and can discuss tea and be respectful while doing it. I'm not a reader. I just tell you what it is and move on. That might not be everybody's cup of tea, and I'm fine with that. God will send the community that is meant for me and this channel. And you will be accepted and cherished and encouraged all at the same time. I love to laugh and key, but my forte is empowerment. So that's why I'm starting this Wellness Waves Wednesdays. Almost a tongue tie, right? We are up to 48 subscribers on our road to 1,000, and I want to thank each one of you. I think majority of you came from the dollhouse. You know I love me some the doll. It's the beat for me. I thank her for sending you, and I thank you for coming. If y'all want a good juice, go holler at the doll. But when you're finished and want to sip, savor, and spill while you wind down from your day, come chill with me, the Empress. I am not monetized on this channel yet, of course, but if you want to support the channel, you can do so by hitting the cashapp at ChampagneSecretzz. You see it on the screen. So let's get into it. On your way into the chalet, grab your glass of champagne off the table, kick back in one of those chaise lounges, and join us as we journey through the Heartbreak Hotel. And you already know I'm sipping on my Moet and Chandon. Come on now. So let's start by describing this hotel, right? The Heartbreak Hotel is an architectural masterpiece. It stands as an embodiment of our deepest desires and dreams. From the outside looking in, it's a breathtaking spectacle, right? A symbol of opulence, elegance, and the promises of endless joy. Its facade glistens under the sun, adorned with intricate details and shimmering glass windows that reflect the sky and the surrounding beauty. Grand, sweeping archways lead you to a grand entrance where a magnificent chandelier hangs like a radiant jewel, casting a warm, inviting glow. The exterior gardens are meticulously manicured with vibrant, fragrant flowers in full bloom, winding pathways and fountains that dance to the melodies of the wind. Guests approach the Heartbreak Hotel with hope and excitement, captivated by its resplendent exterior, which stands as an embodiment of everything you thought you wanted. Upon entering, guests are greeted by a vast marbled lobby adorned with classical artwork and elegant furnishings. The scent of fresh flowers, lavender, and vanilla linger in the air, and soft, soothing music plays in the background. Friendly, impeccably dressed staff offer warm smiles, promising to make your stay unforgettable. The rooms are luxurious on the outside, furnished with the finest materials and designer decor. Each room is a work of art carefully designed to cater to your every desire. Plush, oversized beds with high thread count linens invite you to sink into their embrace. Floor-to-ceiling windows offer panoramic views of a paradise that seems too good to be true. Sounds like something right out of Dubai, right? But does this remind you of your broken relationships that left you in heartbreak? On the outside, they look so good. Chiseled abs or figure-8 curves. They said the right words, gave you money when you asked, the best sex of your life, the promise of a knight in shining armor, or a princess waiting for her prince. Everything looked good on the outside, until you realized your knight in shining armor was a dark knight with a few screws loose. He wasn't there to save you. He was there to trap you. She wasn't there to help you build. She was there to drain you dry. Let me go on back to talking about this hotel so y'all won't get upset that I'm talking about you. So as you turn the key and you settle into your room, and the door slowly closes and locks behind you, the room transforms and you see the truth. The Heartbreak Hotel, with its stunning exterior and lavish decor, is a mere facade. The beauty and luxury it promises are empty and cold, like a mirage in the desert. The rooms reveal a different reality for you, where the opulence disguises a profound sense of despair, and the reality of where you are sets in. The Heartbreak Hotel isn't just a catchy name, it's a trap. One that you've placed yourself in, and one that you'll have to get yourself out of. With all of its captivating exterior and luxurious decor, it serves as a vivid metaphor for the trap we often find ourselves in when we allow our emotions to lead without the wisdom of our intellect. It symbolizes the entanglement that occurs when we fail to protect our heart, our mind, and our emotions from both those external provocations and those unprovoked internal turmoils that we go through. It's a reminder that without the discerning of wisdom, the most alluring facades can conceal profound inner struggles, ultimately leading us to the confines of the Heartbreak Hotel. But let's set the stage, right? We've already determined that the Heartbreak Hotel isn't a physical place, it's a state of mind. It's like a haunting melody that plays on repeat within the chambers of your soul. Like it's as if the universe has transformed every song on the radio into a secret message, a reflection of your inner turmoil, and you can't escape the poignancy of each note like someone told the DJ what you were going through personally. You don't think I understand heartbreak? Baby, listen. I can tell you a thing or two about heartbreak. Heartbreak is like a heavy, invisible anchor lodged in your chest, dragging at your heart and dragging it into the abyss with each passing moment. Your emotions swell like a sea, with waves of sorrow crashing against the shores of your resolve, threatening to erode the walls that you've built to protect yourself. The ones you promised yourself that you would never let down for anyone else. And then here he comes. Here she comes. And you're feeling like, how did we get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. And you let them shatter the walls you fought so hard to build. And they left you shattered, broken, with no protection, and vulnerable. And here it comes, without your permission, heartbreak. It's the emotional turmoil that can come from the end of a relationship, whether it was romantic or a family or a friend. It can be the loss of a loved one, the loss of a career, even the disappointment of unfulfilled dreams, right? We're going to delve into 3 things that can land you in the Heartbreak Hotel, right? The first is the thought trap. Because we've all had those moments when we can't stop replaying the past, wondering what we could have done differently. We'll explore how our thoughts can keep us locked in the Heartbreak Hotel and how to break free from that cycle. Then we'll go into the emotion vortex, the whirlwind of emotions that can overwhelm us and make it feel like it's impossible for us to escape. We'll talk about how to navigate these emotions and regain control. Then there's the circumstantial quicksand. Sometimes the external circumstances of our lives can lead us to the Heartbreak Hotel. And to be honest with you, if we learn to get our thoughts and emotions under control, handling our circumstances would be a piece of cake. But we're so afraid. We're afraid of being alone. When did we stop being okay with being by ourselves and to ourselves? Do you know what alone really means? It means all one. We're afraid of being all one. That's what happened during the pandemic. Individuals came face to face with themselves and were left alone with themselves for long periods of time for the first time, and they didn't like what they saw. So you have to learn how to be all one, or alone will become lonely and you'll find yourself as a guest in our first room, the Loneliness Lounge. So let's talk about the Loneliness Lounge for all of my lonely hearts out there. Picture yourself in the corridor of the Heartbreak Hotel, right? Where the walls echo with the whispers of past heartaches. This room is like a vacuum for your soul. It can be especially suffocating as it makes you feel like you're the only person on the planet. Here you are the sole occupant of a vast emotional desert, and even the most outgoing individuals can find themselves trapped in the merciless embrace of solitude. So upon entering, the atmosphere of the Loneliness Lounge is heavy with solitude. The room is dimly lit, casting long shadows that dance across the walls. The air feels still, as if time itself has come to a standstill. Every sound is muted and the silence is deafening. Does anyone know that feeling? The furniture, once vibrant, now appears faded, mirroring the melancholy that permeates the space. And now you're all alone and lonely. You gave them the best of you, and they left with the best of you and didn't leave the best for you. As you check into the Loneliness Lounge and settle in, The world outside seems to recede into the distance. The once familiar faces become fleeting shadows, and you're left yearning for companionship that you used to have. Even in crowded rooms, you feel like a solitary traveler in a foreign land, unable to bridge the emotional chasm that separates you from the others. The isolation can lead to a cycle of self-doubt and insecurity. You may question your ability to connect with people or wonder if you're somehow inherently unlikable. It's like a heavy fog that obscures the path to meaningful relationships, making it difficult for you to see your way out. Is there someone out here now with the key to the loneliness lounge? So let's look at how we ended up here, because the thing about the Heartbreak Hotel is you don't choose the rooms. The hotel chooses them for you. And you don't know which room you're going to get until it's too late and you're already stuck. So in order to escape, you have to admit one thing to yourself. And that one thing is, I accepted this key. We have to admit to ourselves that we brought ourselves to this hotel. Now you have to ask yourself why and how. This is why you need to be in tune with your star player, as I continue to say in my Cat Williams voice. You're not in tune with you. We live in a society where no one knows who they are. We know who we want to be, but we don't know who we are. We don't know our triggers, and that's why we're so easily set off. No one should have the right, privilege, or authority to make you angry without your permission. We hand our power over so easily. So if we're going to escape, we have to take some time to reflect. Take the time to understand why you are lonely. Because once you know the source, you can address it. You have to be willing to do the one thing that is hard for us to do. Take a look at ourselves. You see, self-reflection isn't about assessing the actions of others, because it's easy to address what others did to you. It's not easy to address what you did to you. Michael said you got to look at the man in the mirror and ask yourself why you allowed yourself to end up here. But I didn't know. Did you not know, or did you not want to know? If we're going to talk about it, let's talk. Scoot up a second. There are always signs. We just don't always pay attention to them, because too many times we lead with our heart without the benefit of intellect. We go all in and fall head over heels for an idea. We fall for what our heart tells us this person has the potential to be. We don't fall in love with reality. And when reality sets in and we realize we're not getting what we potentially saw, we're left hurt, we're left broken, and we're left lonely. We're giving our hearts a job it wasn't meant to have. We're telling our heart to think when it was only meant to love, and forcing our intellect to go along with it. And we're mad at our heart when it can't fulfill the role. That's what a broken heart is. Remember the 3 things that I said can trap us here? The thought trap, the emotional vortex, circumstantial quicksand. So do you feel lonely because your thoughts tell you that you are? Then you need to assess why your thoughts are trained on loneliness. Why are your thoughts betraying you into believing you deserve isolation? Is it your emotions based on a thought? Because although they are not the same, your thoughts about a thing will trigger your emotions about it. Once you change the thought, you'll change the emotion. Let me give you an example. You had a major breakup, right? Now you're feeling lonely because you no longer have that individual who you invested so much in. So now examine the breakup. Was it in part your fault? Was it time, energy, communication, or lack thereof? Was it mutual? And here's where you have to be honest with self, because we spend so much time looking externally, but this is going to require some introspection and honesty with yourself. No, I didn't spend enough time. No, I didn't communicate in the way one should when they're with the person they love. I contributed to this breakup and take full responsibility for my part in it. I'm not saying that I deserve it, but I have to admit to myself that I contributed to it. in order to change my thoughts concerning it. Or maybe you were on one page and your partner was on another. That's why you have to learn to turn the pages together. This is something I'll deal with more on another segment. But even if you made the mistake, forgive yourself. A lot of loneliness we experience is due to the unrealistic expectations we place on ourselves. So we hold on to the guilt because how did I let this happen? So it's not that you don't trust others, you don't trust yourself. If the error was yours, baby, fix it. There's a scripture in the Bible that says pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. If you're too prideful to admit you messed up and say sorry, you're the problem, not them. If the separation was not your fault, just learn to be okay. People are in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. Stop putting lifetime expectations on seasonal and reasonable people. Before you go all in, make them measure up. When you love someone, be it friendship or relationship, literally what you are doing is taking your heart and placing it in their hands and saying, I give you permission to do with this what you will. And you're hoping they won't drop it or break it. You're hoping they will see the value in it and cherish it. Watch this. Would you give a Fabergé egg to a 5-year-old? Would you give the Hope Diamond to a teenager? Would you allow someone you just met to wear the crown jewels? No. Why? Because they don't understand its value. So why don't you place the same value on your heart? Why do you so callously give your heart and body to individuals who haven't proven to you that they can understand or handle its value? You have to know where the people in your life stand. Pay attention to the signs. There are always signs. We just allow our hearts to cause us to ignore them. Develop a strong support system. Those are lifetime connections. Those who will be there for you through thick and thin, and not just when the weather is good. Many times we are lonely because we didn't take the time to vet who we allowed in our inner sanctum. And that's why we have to be careful who we attach to and who we've allowed to attach to us. And some of us are just bitter. And that's why we're lonely. We're bitter at ourselves. We're bitter at life. We're bitter at family. We're just bitter. Have you ever met anyone that's just bitter? You can't get anything positive to come out of their mouth. Can't seem to find anything to be happy about. And that brings us to our next room, which is actually a double suite. The anger end, which is attached to hate chambers. And we'll talk about those on next week. So if you enjoyed this Wellness Waves Wednesday, hit that like and subscribe button, and hopefully we'll see you on next week. Welcome to the Secret Chalei for Wellness Waves Wednesdays. Yes. Come on in, grab you a glass of champagne off the table. You already know I'm sipping on my Moet and Chandon. But whatever you're sipping on, go ahead and come in and grab a seat. Hit that like and subscribe button on your way in, and let's get into it, because we need to pause and make sure our mental and emotional well-being is in check. So if you're ready, let's get into it. So on last week, we started off describing what the Heartbreak Hotel looks like, right? So we're going to do a little recap for anyone who is new to the Chalei, just coming in for our Wellness Waves Wednesdays that didn't happen to catch the Heartbreak Hotel on last week. So in order to really get the feel for this, you're going to have to use your imagination, because generally when you want to make something really live for yourself, you need to form a picture of it in your mind, right? A clear, vivid picture. So we're going to describe the Heartbreak Hotel. So this hotel is an architectural masterpiece. It stands as an embodiment of our deepest desires and dreams. But from the outside looking in, it's a breathtaking spectacle, a symbol of opulence and elegance and the promise of endless joy. Its facade glistens under the sun, adorned with intricate details and shimmering glass windows that reflect the sky and its surrounding beauty. It's grand. It has sweeping archways that lead you to a grand entrance where magnificent chandeliers hang like radiant jewels, casting warm, inviting glows. Man, the exterior gardens are meticulously manicured with vibrant and fragrant flowers in full bloom, winding pathways and fountains that dance to the melodies of the wind. Guests, are, Guests who approach the hotel approach it with hope and excitement, captivated by its resplendent exterior, which stands as an embodiment of everything we thought we ever wanted. When they enter, the guests are greeted by a vast marble lobby. It's adorned with artwork and elegant furnishings. The scent of fresh flowers, lavender, and vanilla just linger all throughout the air. Soft, soothing music plays in the background. Friendly, impeccably dressed staff offer warm smiles, promising to make your stay unforgettable. The rooms are luxurious, furnished with the finest material and designer decor. Each room a work of art, carefully designed to cater to your every desire. Plush, oversized beds with high thread count linens invite you to sink into their embrace. Floor to ceiling windows that offer panoramic views of a paradise that seems too good to be true. But as you settle in to your beautiful room and the doors slowly close and lock behind you, you start to see the truth that the Heartbreak Hotel, with this stunning exterior and lavish decor, is merely a facade. The beauty and luxury it promises are empty and cold. It's like a mirage in the desert. The rooms reveal a different reality where the opulence disguises a profound sense of despair and the reality of where you are finally sets in. The Heartbreak Hotel isn't just a catchy name, it's a trap, one that you've placed yourself in and one that you will have to get yourself out of. So now we have an idea, right, of what this hotel looks like. The hotel is a metaphor for the places that we've emotionally and mentally checked into but can't seem to check out of. We allow what we call love to get us trapped in a place that our heart can't get us out of. And now we're depressed and stressed and emotional, and we can't seem to get ourselves together because we've checked in heart first and not head first. So then we proceeded to talk about the three things that get us trapped here, right? The thought trap, or how we think, which is the emotional vortex, that whirlwind of emotions that can overwhelm us and make us feel trapped, stuck in our head and thoughts, and in our heart, our emotions. And the third is the circumstantial quicksand, because sometimes our circumstances get us stuck here, because our circumstances make us feel forced to settle for where we are instead of reaching for greater. And if we would just get our EQ, our emotional IQ in check, we'll be able to figure out our circumstances, because we'll be able to think clearly. When you develop a thought about something and dwell on that thought for too long, that thought will breed an emotion. And if you dwell on that emotion for long enough, that emotion will breed thoughts in other areas based on that emotion, right? Let me give you an example. So you are in a relationship and they really dogged you out, right? I mean, dogged you out to the point that they left you broken. they cheated, they used you, just dogged you out, right? So now you have a thought in your head about that individual because of what you went through, which provoked emotions based on the thoughts you developed from what you went through with this person. So now someone else comes into your life or tries to come into your life, and automatically what you went through comes back to the surface, and you begin to look at or see them through the eyes of that same hurt. And now everybody is a dog. All men are dogs because the one that you dated barked. Now you can't trust nobody because those emotions have spilled over into every relationship you get into. Or they keep you from a good relationship because the pain becomes stronger than your power and your hurt becomes stronger than the love. You get it? Emotions are very fluid. They move like water and they shift constantly when you don't have them under control. So the first room that we discussed is the loneliness lounge. We talked about this room being like a vacuum for your soul, suffocating you and making you feel like you're the only person on the planet. Like you're trapped in this vast emotional desert that you can't seem to see your way out of. To make it live for you, imagine this room being dimly lit, dull and drab with shadows like apparitions cast across the walls. The air feels stale as if the world has come to a halt and time itself has come to a standstill. This silence isn't a normal silence. It's eerie, it's thick, and it's deafening. The furniture that was once bright has transformed and become faded, and you're left alone with nothing but yourself, your thoughts, your memories, and your emotions. You're left isolated and feeling like you're not good enough for anything outside of where you currently are. Then we spoke about how to get out of this room. Self-reflection, turning the mirror on self and taking a look at how you ended up here because you accepted the key. You got to always remember that. You don't get to choose your rooms. The hotel chooses the room for you based on the condition that you came in. Can you imagine going to a hotel and asking for a room and then you pay for the room because you felt like this is a opulent and elegant hotel, so you figure all the rooms are the same just to get there and you don't get to choose your own room? The hotel chooses the room for you? Well, that's how the Heartbreak Hotel is. So you need self-reflection. You need to take a moment to take a look at yourself. And then you need honesty. You got to ask yourself, was it partly my fault? Was I somehow a contributor to the reason why the relationship met its demise? Was it partly my fault? If it was, forgive yourself. And if it wasn't, forgive them. You don't have to remain captive to your emotions, afraid to be all one. We've gotten to this place where we've become so addicted to having someone else that we don't know how to be all one. We don't know how to be okay with being by ourselves and with ourselves. Why is it that we feel like we just have to have somebody? And we pour more into those somebodies than we pour into ourselves. Take the time to get to know you. We don't know who we are. We know who our significant others are more than we know ourselves, and that's why we fall. It is because we don't know our triggers. We don't know what makes us truly happy. We're just settling for a facade. Have you ever heard someone say, fake it until you make it? Yeah. When are you going to get tired of faking it and really be happy? Because that's what it's time for. It's time to learn how to truly be happy, not with someone else, but with yourself. Take the time to learn your value. Why don't we know our worth? So many of us are talking about we're high value, but we're putting that value into the hands of trash. Would you hand a Fabergé egg to a homeless person and tell them to hold on to it for you? Would you give the Hope Diamond to a stranger and tell them to hold it while you grab something out of your pocket? No. Then why do you keep putting your heart in the hands of individuals who haven't proven to you that they can handle its worth? You got to be stronger than that. You have to be, because we're constantly compiling hurt upon hurt upon hurt upon heartbreak and trying to figure out why we got here, how we got here, and why we feel like we're so weighted down with pressure. It's because we are. We've placed ourselves here. So now we've come to this week. And this week, we're talking about bitterness. Because a lot of us are just bitter. We wouldn't know how to be happy if it slapped us in the face and offered us $1,000 to be. We're bitter, we're angry, and we found ourselves in this double suite, the anger in, which is attached to hate chambers. So first, let's step into the anger in. Picture a suite ablaze with fiery fuse, right? Bright, bold, vivacious reds and oranges. The walls are painted in shades of burning crimson and furnishings that seem to vibrate with the energy of a raging storm, right? The air crackles with electric tension, mirroring the intensity of emotions that surges within its confines. Even the mirrors on the walls reflect the fury in your eyes, amplifying the raw power of your anger. The minute you settle into this room, the energy makes you want to scream, fight, attack, something, anything, everything. Have you ever been around someone that's in full-blown rage? Do you remember how it made you feel, that energy, that electricity that pulsated off of them? Because angry people are impulsive. They never respond. They always react. And people full of bitterness and anger are dangerous because in the heat of rage, you don't care. See, I like watching Investigation Discovery, right? Have you ever watched the show Snapped? That's what can happen when you're enraged. You're like a Tasmanian devil, destroying everything in your path. It doesn't matter who it is. You don't care. You're enraged. You can't see or think past the anger. You can snap and you won't realize what was done until the rage calms down. And then you're left to deal with the devastation that you've caused. Your journey to the anger end often begins when you feel wronged or betrayed or don't know how to process it. Injustice can also spark a flame of anger, right? And this suite is like a crucible where emotions ignite like a roaring inferno. So let's take it away from relationships, right? Do you remember when the term going postal was coined? When people began to bang up their jobs because they were fired? See, that's rage, unbridled anger. The allure of anger lies in its power to protect your wounded heart. It serves, or its facade serves as a defense mechanism against the world's injustices. When you're in the anger end, you feel like a volcano on the verge of eruption. You're consumed by a fiery anger that feels like it's surging or coursing through your veins. It's a relentless burning sensation that courses through your body, making your heart race and your muscles tense. Your mind becomes a battleground of turbulent thoughts, each one more infuriating than the last. You might even feel a pounding in your chest. Your hands begin to tremble with the intensity of your emotions. It's as if a raging storm is within you, and every interaction, every memory feels like a lightning bolt of frustration. The anger end magnifies the injustices you faced and intensifies your desire for retribution and vindication. Listen, I have a temper, right? But I had to teach myself to remove those triggers so they're not easily tripped. But when I'm getting to a place of anger or rage, it's like I can feel my blood begin to boil. It's like it starts at my toes and starts to slowly creep its way up. You remember the old Incredible Hulk episodes when David Banner would say, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me if I got angry." Yeah, that's me. And I know that it's not good for me because my thoughts go from roses and catalilies to penitentiary like automatically. They go from champagne to Mad Dog 2020 to 1800 hard liquor. But we gotta stop, because what ship do you know has ever lasted long on a turbulent sea? It can't, unless you've proofed it to handle it. And most of us aren't offense proof. We aren't. I still am not. We don't spend enough time offense proofing our lives against the turbulence of life. So this room is characterized by a sense of isolation and hostility. So a lot of times you push people away. The rage within you creates a wall that feels impenetrable. Diamond encrusted, thorn filled walls guarded by pit bulls, electrical wire fences. And that's why every response they give is almost a snap. They're just real snappy, like you just called them ugly or something. Everything is a snap. Not a positive word comes from their mouths. You might feel like you're trapped in a burning building and your instinct is to push everyone out for your safety, even if it's your own emotional well-being that's truly at risk. Visitors in the Anger Inn often find themselves oscillating between brooding over past wrongs and plotting retaliation. All they want is to get back. They want to get back at everybody who's hurt them. This is how you get broken car windows and slashed tires and destroyed property. Y'all have seen these videos all over YouTube. It's uncontrolled anger and rage. Now let's cross the threshold to the hate chambers. Because if we don't get rage under control, rage turns into hate. And that's why these two rooms are connected. Here, the atmosphere is even more ominous. The walls are painted in a dark black. I mean, blacker than black. Almost like they aren't even there, it's so black. It seems to absorb any hint of light. Broken fragments of what could have been beautiful art are scattered throughout, mirroring shattered dreams and fractured relationships, the ones that led you here. The air resonates with negativity, and the room seems to carry the scent of acrid bitterness. Distorted mirrors reflect back distorted versions of yourself, intensifying feelings of resentment and anger. Every time you look at yourself, all you see is hate and pain, and you hate the pain, so you hate the causer of it. Within the hate chambers, emotions are like a heavy, suffocating fog, obscuring the path to understanding and forgiveness. It's as if a storm cloud has taken residence in your heart, casting a shadow over every aspect of your existence. Every breath feels like a burden. You hate that you're even breathing the same air as the person who hurt you. And your thoughts are relentless. I mean, evil, dark, whispering dark thoughts of vengeance. Visitors find themselves in the hate chambers when anger festers and transforms into an overwhelming hatred. It's the room where negativity thrives, and the walls appear to absorb bitterness, trapping individuals in a never-ending cycle of self-destructive thoughts and emotions. Because there is no light, guests of the hate chambers are not only a danger to others, they are a danger to themselves. There's no light in this room, so there's no vision. You can't see your way around, so you create bigger messes by bumping into things you can't see. And because you've been in the dark so long, you've gotten used to the darkness and damage. You no longer care what it looks like in the light. You don't even care that you're angry any longer, Smeagol. You're just trapped. You hate you're alone. You hate the dark, but you also hate the light. Why does anything have this much power over you? People who are full of hate have no feeling. And that's why we end up with people being unalived when they break up with them, because someone allowed anger to fester and fester and fester until it turned into hate, where you feel nothing and become capable of anything, because absent of emotion is absent of remorse, which means you are capable of absolutely anything. Do you want to know how to get out of these sweets? Because you thought your anger and hatred would bring you some kind of power. But look at where you are. Alone, in the dark, bitter, broken, empty, void. Hatred isn't empowering, it's draining. It's draining to have to hold on to that emotion every time you see a person or every time you have a thought about that person in a conversation. And here comes the void again. Here comes the darkness like a horror movie, and the monster is possessing you. So in order to get out of this place, you have to confront it. You have to. You have to confront it. You cannot conquer what you will not confront. So let me take you through an exercise. This is an exercise that I take my clients through when I have a vision session with them. And this is what I want you to do. I need you to close your eyes and I need you to see it. Whatever you're mad at, whatever you're angry at, I need you to see it. I need you to give it a face and give it a name. I need you to see what made you mad. Don't hold back, because we're going to let this go. We're going to get past it, because this room isn't safe. I need you to see it. See what was done. I need you to hear what was said, and I need you to see it and hear it vividly. Now I need you to do something that no one has probably given you permission to do. I need you to feel it. Feel every ounce of it. How did it make you feel when they said what they said and when they did what they did? I need you to feel it. Did you go through several emotions before you got here? I need you to feel all of them. Feel the sadness. Feel the pain. Feel the hurt. Feel the isolation. Are you there? Angry? Frustrated? Now, I need you to take some deep breaths while you're right there. 4 seconds in. Hold it. 4 seconds out. Keep breathing and tell yourself it's not real. This is a memory. It was real then, but it can no longer hurt you. It can no longer affect you. Tell it no longer has power over you. Tell it I release you and I reclaim my power. Tell it, breathe it, feel it. I don't care if you have to cry. I don't care if you have to pause and scream. I need you to release it. Let it go. With every exhale, I need you to let more and more of it go. Then, I need you to tell it, I forgive you. I forgive you. And I need you to forgive yourself. And I need you to mean it. With each breath, I need you to see it fade away, along with the pain of it. Feel it lift and let go. If you're really ready to leave this place, baby, you gotta let it go. All of the hurt, all of the pain, everything attached to that moment in time, I need you to let it go. And I need you to forgive, because forgiveness is not for them, because they're living their lives. Forgiveness is for you, because you're the one stuck. You're the one stuck with the pain, with the misery, with the grudges, with the memories. Baby, you gotta let it go so you can live. Listen, I've learned not to hold on to grudges because it doesn't benefit me. I have learned to believe what people show me and move differently. It's not that I don't remember what was done. I just refuse to hold on to it long enough to allow it to deter my future. I don't have to hate you or dislike you. I just have to move different around you. Listen, let me show you something. I love wearing jewelry that are snakes, right? I love snake jewelry. I do. I think snakes are some of the most beautiful creatures ever. But a snake is a snake. And I wear it because it's a lesson. It's a lesson. It's a lesson because a snake doesn't try to be anything else but what it is. So no matter how beautiful it is, because some of them are absolutely gorgeous in color, if it were real and I decided to pick it up and it bites me, I can't get mad at it because it didn't hide what it is. I knew what it was when I picked it up. When you get tuned in with your star player, as I continue to talk about, number one, you'll stop investing so much of yourself into something without knowing what it is. And number two, you'll stop holding yourself captive to what somebody else did or said. Learn how to shake it off. Get you some anti-venom called self-love and move on. The best give back you can ever give to someone who has maliciously hurt you is to let them see you move on, unbothered, unwavered, living your life, getting to your bag, picking yourself up, and doing better for yourself. Claim your peace so you can chase your destiny. Next week, we'll be talking about the self-loathing chambers and insecurity in. Because a lot of us have hidden and outward insecurities that we need to let go of so that we can be the greatest version of ourselves possible. So tune in to Wellness Waves Wednesdays on next week so that we can see how to escape the self-loathing chambers and insecurity in. I hope you enjoyed this week. Welcome, beauties and confidants. We're going to take a small break to make sure you guys have those glasses filled to the rim. Thank you to those who have decided to stay with us from the beginning to the end. I've been seeing your comments. Heard y'all in there talking about some Mad Dog 2020. That's old school. How are you guys liking the Wellness Waves recap? And those to the Chalei. We're doing things a little bit different today. We're taking it from the inside to the outside. We're taking it out by the beach so that we can kick back and cozy up and have a fireside chat. A lot of people really don't pull up for the Wellness Waves Wednesdays, and I get it. It's because it's not messy enough. But for those trying to get that mental health and that emotional IQ intact, we're going to cozy up and talk about a few things. So grab you some champagne, kick your shoes off, and let your toes dance in the sand, and let's get ready to get into it. Now take those glasses and raise them high. Cheers to you, confidant, for having the audacity to attack your challenges head on, for becoming the architect of your own destiny. For my loves, you are worth it. Yes. So now let's give a recap of what we've covered in the other 2 weeks. So on week 1, we explored the depths of the loneliness lounge. Y'all know some of y'all are just so trapped in loneliness, scared to be all one with yourself. So you attach to everything else in an attempt not to be by yourself. So we talked about escaping the loneliness lounge. And on last week, we bravely entered the hate chambers and the anger end because some of us are so bitter. We're so bitter and we're so angry, but that's because we hadn't learned how to embrace forgiveness and compassion. So we dealt with hate and anger on last week. And now this week, for week 3, we face a formidable challenge, the double sweep of self-loathing and insecurity. So these 2 unwelcome guests often sneak into our minds whispering lies about our worth and our potential, right? But today, we're refusing to be held captive by their deceitful voices any longer. Today, we're going to reclaim our power and declare that we are worthy. We are enough, just as we are. So, confidants, we're about to dive deep into our hearts and unravel the knots of self-doubt and fear so that we can shine a light on the beauty and strength that resides within each one of us, waiting to be acknowledged and embraced by ourselves. If this is your first time here, welcome. We're going to take a moment to describe this hotel, and you have to use your imagination to really make it live for you, right? That's why I have the music in the background and the sound of the waves, so we can really make this thing live so that we can escape from it. So, the Heartbreak Hotel is an architectural masterpiece. It stands as the embodiment of our deepest desires and dreams. From the outside looking in, it is a breathtaking spectacle, a symbol of opulence, elegance, and the promise of endless joy. Its facade glistens under the sun, adorned with intricate details and shimmering glass windows that reflect the sky and the surrounding beauty. Grand sweeping archways lead you to a grand entrance where magnificent chandeliers hang like radiant jewels, casting a warm, inviting glow. The exterior gardens are meticulously manicured with vibrant, fragrant flowers in full bloom, winding pathways and fountains that dance to the melodies of the wind. Guests approach the Heartbreak Hotel with hope and excitement, captivated by its resplendent exterior, which stands as an embodiment of everything we thought we'd ever wanted. Upon entering, the guests are greeted by a vast marbled lobby adorned with classical artwork and elegant furnishings. The scent of fresh flowers, lavender, and vanilla linger in the air, and soft, soothing music plays in the background. Friendly, impeccably dressed staff offer warm smiles, promising to make your stay unforgettable. The rooms are luxurious, furnished with the finest materials and designer decor. Each room a work of art carefully designed to cater to your every desire. Plush, oversized beds with high thread count linens invite you to sink into their embrace. Floor-to-ceiling windows offer panoramic views of a paradise that seems too good to be true. But as you settle into your room and the door slowly closes and locks behind you, you start to see the truth. The Heartbreak Hotel, with its stunning exterior and lavish decor, is merely a facade. The beauty and luxury it promises are empty and cold, like a mirage in the desert. The rooms reveal a different reality, where the opulence disguises a profound sense of despair, and the reality of where you are sets in. The Heartbreak Hotel isn't just a catchy name, it's a trap. One that you've placed yourself in, and one that you'll have to get yourself out of. So, now that you have that picture in mind, let's take a look at these two adjoining suites. First, prepare to embark on a journey beyond the imagination, because many of us are trapped in these rooms. So as you navigate the corridors of the Heartbreak Hotel, you stumble upon a peculiar arrangement, the self-loathing chambers seamlessly intertwined with the insecurity suites. These adjoining spaces are a complex emotional nexus, each room influencing and intensifying the other. The self-loathing chambers are a labyrinthine expanse, cloaked in shadows that whisper cruel reminders of our perceived flaws. So picture stepping into a hall adorned with mirrors that distort your self-image, reflecting back every insecurity with stark precision. If you don't like your hair, every strand is amplified. These mirrors take your most hated flaws and amplify them with precision and detail. The air here is thick with negativity and a suffocating weight that presses down on your shoulders with every breath. This room amplifies how you feel about you, how you think about you, and how you see yourself. And that negativity echoes from the mirrors to the walls. Even your speech is amplified. Every time you try to speak, it echoes back. You sound dumb. It accentuates how you feel about your body. See, it's this room that causes girls like Rolly to get chopped and screwed in an effort to feel something other than the self-loathing on the inside. The loathing is so prevalent that it even causes pain, which turns into loneliness, which turns into anger, which turns into hate. But it all begins right here with how you feel about yourself. And self-loathing leads to self-sabotage. You sabotage your friendships, your relationships, your connections. You push everyone and everything away because you don't like you. So if you don't like you, you feel threatened by anything that looks like it likes you. You're afraid to love because how can anyone love me if I look like this? How can anyone trust me if I don't trust myself? Self-loathing is a strong sense of dislike of oneself. This isn't about anyone else. But as long as you are trapped here, that feeling spreads like a wildfire to everyone else. And adjacent to the self-loathing chambers lie the insecurity suites. This is a suite because insecurity has so many different rooms, so many different layers. It's a realm where fears and uncertainties cast looming shadows upon the walls. Imagine stepping into a hall of mirrors that magnify our deepest anxieties and our deepest fears, like a horror movie, and every mirror is another fear jumping out at you. Have you ever watched a horror movie? And when they got to the hall seemed to stretch longer and longer and get darker and darker? Yeah. It's like that. It's like you're in the hall of your scariest horror movie, and at any moment your fear is going to manifest right before you and consume you. Here, the atmosphere hums with the echoes of self-doubt, challenging the very foundation of our confidence. Mean individuals aren't confident, they're insecure. Security is calm, it's not rowdy. It has nothing to prove. Listen. A lion has never lost sleep over the opinion of a sheep. Never. A lion also never has to announce to the world who or what he is. When he shows up, everybody knows. And he doesn't care if the other animals know what he is because he knows what he is. You get it? A lion doesn't need validation. An eagle doesn't need validation. They are their own validation. You've never seen a lion walk into a group of animals with a posture of, you have to accept me, I am a lion. Call me what I am. No, his presence speaks for itself. When a shark shows up, everything scatters without saying a word. Why? Because it's not in words, it's in presence. And when you learn presence, your presence will speak for you. This is the problem that I have with the trans community. You have to accept me. No, my love, I don't. You have to accept you. And when you finally accept you, you won't worry about who does or who doesn't. Do you think that when Dennis Rodman used to step on the court, do you think he cared about what others thought about his hair color or what he wore? Do you think he cared about what others thought about him? No. Because he was who he was. But I guarantee you, when he stepped on that court, everybody felt him and knew who he was because his presence and his game spoke for itself. We are all like a bunch of children running around saying, accept me, accept me. How about accept yourself and to hell with who doesn't like it? Huh? Can we talk? I can respect you and not agree with you, But the minute you try to force me to agree with you, I lose respect for you. But that's for another show. Just remember this: validation is for cars, not for people. The only people who have to validate you is you. Cat Williams said it best. It's called self-esteem. It's esteem of your mother freaking self. So why are we constantly looking on the outside for something that can only be developed and attained on the inside? The journey to these chambers within the Heartbreak Hotel is often a maze of winding paths, veiled in human emotion. That's why insecurity itself is a suite. Imagine a traveler navigating life's labyrinthine passages, encountering a crossroads marked by moments of vulnerability, heartbreak, and piercing blows to one's confidence. It could be the aftermath of a failed endeavor, a hurtful comment, or a series of events that chip away at the fortress of self-assurance. A painful breakup, a failed marriage that you invested everything into, a backstabbing relative or backstabbing friend, a failed career move, disrespectful kids, or kids who you've given the world to and they turn around and give you their ass to kiss. Oh yeah. Some of these children these days, you really want to send a first class ticket to the resurrection, I promise you. And you feel like you did something wrong. No. For some of these children, and I'm talking about the teens and the barely grown ones who think that they have the mysteries of the universe figured out, yeah, those are the ones. They're led by what they see in society. The sexy reds, the Sukis, the Krishans, the Instagram fanatics. They don't care about wisdom because wisdom isn't mass broadcast. This is the I gotta see for myself generation. I told my children one day, see, when we were children, our parents were the ultimate say, right? If our parents told us, don't go down that street, because if you go about 3 blocks up and go to the left, there's a hole right there and you're gonna fall in it and die. We were so scared. We wasn't even gonna go up that block. We was going about 3 blocks over. Then we're gonna go up. We're gonna do everything that we can to avoid that area because we weren't gonna take a chance of going up that way and ending up unalived. We was missing that area at all costs. But these kids will go up that street 3 blocks and turn to the left just to see if they're really gonna fall in and die. This generation believes I gotta experience life. I gotta make my mistakes. I just gotta do me. There's a whole graveyard full of untapped potential because someone thought experience was the best teacher and didn't live to tell the story. The best teacher is learning from the experiences of others. I don't need to jump off of a cruise ship in shark-infested waters to see if I'll survive. I've seen enough people not make it out to know that's not a chance I want to take. That's what I gotta make my own mistakes is. It's jumping into shark-infested waters to see if you have what it takes to make it out. Stop blaming yourself, Mom, Dad. Just pray for them. Pray that God covers your children and doesn't allow the lesson that they have to learn to be at the cost of their lives. Put it in the hands of God. See, the path leading to self-loathing chambers and insecurity suites, it begins subtly, almost imperceptibly. You don't even know that it's there at first. It's a trail paved with experiences that shape the very foundation of our confidence. It's a series of small cracks that slowly widen, allowing emotions to seep into the depth of our being. Perhaps it begins with a moment of disappointment, a setback that festers in the mind, planting seeds of doubt. Or it could be a string of comparisons where we measure our worth against others. The gaps become chasms of insecurity. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop it. The only thing you could ever be of someone else is a cheap knockoff, an imitation of an original. So we allow self-doubt to spread like black mold because we spend so much time trying to be like others, and we can't. You see it on YouTube all the time. Creators who think that if I come on here and I be like so-and-so, I can blow up. No, there's only one Tasha K. Like it or not, you couldn't imitate her if you tried. There's only one Voodoo Doll. There's only one Big Mouth Media. There's only one Evner Entertainment. You can't be them. Even if you steal their words, you'll only be a backstreet knockoff of an original masterpiece. It's facts. Sometimes it's the echoes of past wounds resurfacing, reopening old scars and reigniting doubts that we thought we'd healed from. Do you know why? Because we never pause to heal. We jump from one scenario to the next, from one broken ship to the next. We haven't regathered the pieces of our hearts that were left shattered. So we're jumping from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship, and we're leaving parts of our hearts there till there's nothing left of our heart for ourselves. Because he has a piece of our heart, and she has a piece of our heart, and John has a piece of our heart, and Sarah has a piece of our heart, and Malachi got a corner over there. Everyone has a piece of our heart, and we wonder why there's nothing left for self-love. Picture a traveler walking through the corridors of life, encountering twists and turns that lead to twists and turns. Those turns unwittingly towards these chambers. Every experience, every setback, every emotional blow becomes a brick in the pathway leading to these interconnected spaces. A journey of self-discovery where the vulnerabilities of being human and having a human experience pave the way to these profound emotional depths. The journey to these chambers isn't a deliberate choice, but an intricate interplay of life's complexities. A convergence of moments that lead down a path where shadows lurk, waiting to engulf us in the cavernous expanse of self-doubt and insecurity and fear. The fear of rejection, the fear of acceptance, the fear of love, the fear of living, the fear of dying, afraid to step out, afraid of not becoming, just afraid. And in order to escape, you'll have to realize that this space right here is about you. It's about you. It's about coming face to face with yourself. Not your fear, but yourself. We spend so much time pointing the finger, but in order to escape these spaces, you have to pay attention to the three fingers that are pointing back at yourself. Self-assurance, self-confidence, self-awareness, self-love. It all begins with self and understanding the power that you have, the power that lies within you. So now, while you're in this space, I need you to envision discovering the tools to rebuild your self-belief. What tools do you think you will need to rebuild your confidence? I need you to picture yourself crafting a sanctuary, resonating with affirmations and self-assuredness, where your uniqueness becomes a bastion of strength. It's as if these suites are intertwined by a shared energy, a relentless cycle where self-loathing feeds insecurity and insecurity amplifies self-doubt. And in order to escape, you need to craft a sanctuary for you and only you, where fear no longer resides. How did Nancy finally defeat Freddy Krueger? She had to face him. Not only face him, but let him know that she was no longer afraid of him. So how are you going to overcome these suites? You have to face your fears and let them know you no longer have power over me. Within these chambers, imagine discovering the dormant embers of self-compassion amidst the darkness. Picture transforming these cavernous spaces into a cathedral of self-acceptance, where every imperfection becomes a mosaic of resilience. And every negative thought is replaced with affirmations of self-worth. You have the tools already on the inside. You just have to tap into them. You have to embrace acceptance of yourself and continue to accept yourself until you develop a love for yourself. I need you to love everything from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, from the texture of your hair to the size of your legs, from the fullness of your thighs to the fullness of your nose, to the fat around your knees, from the length of your neck to the spread of your hips, from the way you talk to the way your eyes blink when you smile. I need you to love everything about you. Everything about you. Do you remember the old prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Right. Exercise time. All of y'all are my clients today for absolutely free. I need you to take a piece of paper and I need you to write down everything about yourself that you want to change, everything that you're insecure about, everything that you loathe about yourself, everything. Don't leave anything out. Underneath there, I need you to separate those things on that list into two categories: what you can change and what you can't. And what you will realize is most of the stuff on that list, you have the power to change yourself once you stop being afraid to. Listen, if it's loving yourself, I need you to get up every morning and look yourself in the mirror and just look at yourself. The eyes are the gateway to the soul. Look at yourself without thinking anything. No thoughts. Look at your hair, your eyes, your nose, your lips. Look at your body. Just look for 5 minutes every morning, every night before you go to sleep. Don't think, because the problem lies in our thoughts. For 5 minutes, I just need you to become familiar with you, because a lot of us don't know ourselves, and that's the problem. Then after those 5 minutes are up, I need you to look at yourself and just smile. I need you to smile, and I need you to affirm yourself for 5 minutes. Affirm your eyes, affirm your hair, affirm your lips, affirm your ears, affirm the color of your hair, the color of your skin. Affirm your body, even the things you don't even like. Every morning, you're going to play the self-love game. You're going to play it until you feel it. And once you can do it for 5 minutes, you're going to increase it to 10. And once you can do 10, increase it to 15. You're going to do it until it becomes a habit for you. And it's almost natural that every time you look in the mirror, you're telling yourself something wonderful about you. Make it into a poem if you have to. I look in the mirror, and what do I see? A reflection of beauty. That's you. It's me. From head to toe, inside out. I love myself. I shout it out loud. Eyes shining bright, smile so sweet, hair on point. I'm so unique. I'm beautiful. I'm handsome. Everything I embrace. In every look, every glance, I find treasure. I'm beautiful. I'm handsome. I'm my ultimate pleasure. Look in that mirror. What do you see? A vision of beauty. That's you. Just be. From the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, every part, every piece in you, it shows. So look at yourself with eyes anew. See the beauty in every view. You're imperfectly perfect. Your flaws make you whole. Learn to embrace them, love them. That's your ultimate goal. I am a masterpiece, and God makes no mistakes. I shun the fear and put love in its place. I need you to do this for 7 days straight. And every time you look in a mirror, I need you to smile and compliment yourself and see if it doesn't make a difference. The courage to change the things I can is the courage to step out without fear and say, I am the architect of my destiny, and I refuse to live in fear any longer. If I don't like my body, I'm going to work to change it. I'm going to get up and start working out. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to find me a partner. I'm going to do some squats, some crunches. I'm going to make a choice to change the things that I can, because you have the power, He-Man, She-Ra. The power lies within you. It lies within you. Now that's all the time we have for this week. Join us next week where we dive deep into the depression suite and anxiety boudoir. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're going to start doing those exercises, because I need you to escape these insecurities and all of this self-loathing that we've learned to develop for ourselves. Learn to love you, confidant, because you are worth it. Confidants, always remember, if it doesn't cause you to elevate, it's causing you to depreciate. Now raise those glasses, clink, and let's drink till we meet again. Ta-ta.